Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now here on the 4th of January 2021, and it didn't take them very long into the new year, a massive 4 days only for Johnson to get on the TV and announce yet another lockdown. And from what I can see of the details, it's kind of going to be more like the first lockdown we had all the way back there in March, April, May, rather than like the November one, so more strict. Now, I'm not going to go into how I feel about it because I'm sure you are feeling exactly the same as I am. Absolutely gutted and disgusted. Now, the news outlet where I saw this, which is one of the mainstream media ones, of course, said that there's a YouGov poll saying that the general public are broadly in favour of the national lockdown or the new lockdown. Over 80% are in favour and only 16% oppose. Now that sounds like it's made up, because I know for a fact there's a lot more than 16% of people who oppose this. It might not be the majority of people still, but it's certainly getting up there to more like sort of 40%, I'd estimate now. But that's a clear lie, and I'll tell you why they've done it. It's for something called social proof. And there's this psychological trick. A guy called Robert Cialdini, who is a kind of scientist stroke kind of marketing expert, and he identified, I think it's about 6 different kind of psychological triggers which are often used in the world of sales and also anywhere else, like politics, where you're trying to persuade people. And social proofing is basically where you try and show that a lot of other people support whatever it is you're trying to say or to sell, the thing that you're trying to push, and that then kind of gets anyone else off the fence, sort of thing. And it's why you have testimonials and reviews at the bottom of almost every website trying to sell you something. That pretty much every site has got those things, and it's just called social proof. You know, you'd say, oh yeah, this person sort of thinks this product's really good, and that person does as well. Maybe I'll buy it as well. So that is clearly an exercise in social proof, just trying to get people, if you don't support the lockdown, you're in a tiny, tiny minority, and therefore that means there's something wrong with you, is the whole thing behind that. And I know that's the whole thing behind that. And it's pretty convenient that they had this YouGov poll anyway, when we only sort of really knew a day or two ago that a lockdown might be on the cards, and yet they've already done a poll and they've already sort of written this piece anyway. So that's a bit suspicious. But anyway, I thought I'd try and give a bit of positivity. I've been watching a few of Lee's videos on Veritas, the Veritas channel. I'm sure you know it, but if you don't, Veritas Vincit, well worth looking at his videos on YouTube. And I saw one, and in one of the comments there was, I think it's a lady recommended going to the site of a lady called Rachel Elnor. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but she was actually the original lady on Dragon's Den many years ago, and she has become a something of a sort of, well, thinks along the lines that we do. Anyone watching this video most likely thinks. And on her, if you go to rachelelnaugh.com, I think her surname's spelled ELNAUGH, so Rachel Elnaugh, all one word.com. And on her homepage are 2 videos, well worth a watch. And just in case you don't suspect what's going on already, it will explain it to you really well. And even if you have got an inkling, it will kind of crystallise it in your mind for you. So that's well worth a watch. Now going back to Lee of Veritas, I've been watching quite a few of his videos recently, and his latest one, I think it's his latest one, he was talking about conspiracy theories. And I've had quite a journey with conspiracy theories and theorists myself, actually, this year, over the last few months. Up until this year, I just thought conspiracy theories, and I liked watching them on TV when they came up, in the same kind of way that I like watching, sort of ghost stories. I sort of found them fascinating, but didn't really believe them at the end of the day. But I've been looking at, when all this started and things weren't making sense that we were being told by the government and the mainstream media, I was looking through YouTube, and this thing popped up in my feed, and it was an interview between Brian Rose and David Icke. Now, to be honest with you, up until the start of this year, I kind of bought into all the mainstream opinions of David Icke. Oh yeah, he's that mad conspiracy theorist. So not really going to sort of take a notice of anything he's going to say. I openly confess and admit that that's how I thought. I bought into the mainstream nonsense. But I saw this interview, and the way Brian Rose sold it to me, he just said, give us 15 minutes, and if you think what we're saying after 15 minutes is a load of rubbish, you can go away, So I thought, okay, I'll give them 15 minutes at least, that's fair enough. So I started watching David Icke and Brian Rose, and I was expecting to see this kind of mad guy coming out with all kinds of gibberish, but what I wasn't expecting is, as far as sort of David Icke I'm talking about here, what I wasn't expecting is to see a guy who appeared to be very rational, very, very well read, very, very clued up. And it's obvious that he's a very intelligent man. He's read a lot, he's researched a lot, he's talked to lots and lots of people, and he has come to various conclusions which he's come to through a lot of in-depth, hard thinking and rationalising things that he's researched. So that's not exactly what a mad person does, and he certainly didn't come across as being mad at all. So I didn't just watch 15 minutes, I watched the whole lot, and they did 5 interviews. Brian Roseicke interviews 1 through to 5, and I actually watched all of them all the way through, and they're all about 3 hours long. So if you're going to watch them, it's going to be a good 2 working days worth of videos to watch, but well worth watching. And the reason why you might want to watch them is that basically I won't say everything, but a lot of stuff that David was saying. And you bear in mind that these videos, I think the first one was March, somewhere around then. They were talking about, you know, start of the lockdown. Second one, I'm pretty sure, was April. Third one was May. Fourth one was June, I think. And then the fifth one was August. So quite a lot of months ago now. But everything that David Icke was saying was probably going to happen is happening or has happened. He was saying what they'll try and do is they'll keep all this lockdown stuff going on and on and on for as long as they can. They'll probably bring in a kind of a second strain or a new strain, new dangerous strain of the the sort of lurgy, and they'll use that as an excuse for further restrictions, further lockdowns, and all the rest of it. And here we are now, sort of 8, 9, 10 months from those, into the future from those videos, those interviews. And what we've seen, well, obviously we're going into lockdown today, 4th of January 21. So there's just so many things that he was saying has come true. So that means what else, if that's come true and that's true, what else that he talks about is true as well. So, and if even half the stuff he talks about is true or is going to come true, it's very, very, very sort of worrying. But there is 7 videos for you to watch, and if we're all going to be in lockdown and sort of perhaps not having too much work to do, or certainly plenty of free time, there is 7 videos for you to watch, 2 from Rachel and the 5 Roseicke ones. So I can't really sort of leave links in the comments below for it. You'll probably have to go to, well, Rachel's ones you can go direct to her site, as I've said before. I might leave a link to her site in the comment section below. For the Roseicke videos, you'll have to go to either brand YouTube or BitChute, and once you're there, search Roseicke, and then you should see the full videos coming up on there. But anyway, not the best news, obviously, but we've got to just keep making videos, keep doing our sort of little bits of protest however we can, and try and stick together as much as we can, because there's not just a few of us, there's a lot of people like us out there, and sooner or later we're all going to come together, and we're just going to sort of say, no, we've had enough. I think that day is going to come, hopefully sooner rather than later, but I think it is going to come this year. But anyway, on that sort of hopefully sort of slightly more uplifting note, I'll leave it there for today. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.